Come on along and help me sing this song where the adventure grew. That's me and you, and the whole world too. Looking back at Cross Point Towers, we start today's Bay Circuit Trail hike at the beginning of the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail. Passing under Route 3, we see silhouettes of bicyclists. The amber light exposes crude attempts at graffiti inside this corrugated tube. We emerge into bright sunlight and begin to notice flowers along the path. Honeybees and bumblebees are busy pollinating as this shiny bright green dragonfly takes a rest. A flying insect searches, while this ant scurries atop Queen Anne's lace. A family enjoys this rail trail, and we take a side trip to meet Joe Geller in Topsfield to learn more about these increasingly popular rail trails.
It's giving people the opportunity to go out and get their exercise. Because we live in an age now of so much is electronic, so many people spend so much time in front of their smartphones, in front of their iPads, and in front of their computers. They're not getting out as much as they could to enjoy the outdoors.
Rail trails are popping up everywhere, and here in Topsfield, Joe Geller started early on. Joe shows us this stone dust path. It's wheelchair accessible, a use for an old abandoned railroad corridor. A state-of-the-art road crossing signal is solar powered. This old railroad bridge demonstrates the ingenuity that grassroots actions can achieve. But creating a rail trail requires attention to a lot of details.
For a good part of the time, we were kind of on our own, learning how to do these things, reading the leases, having the town lawyers looking at the leases with the MBTA. And then we had to figure out, through town purchasing, the bidding system and the specifications for the trail we wanted to build.
Joe Geller, along with the Topsfield Rail Trail Committee and their volunteers, are proud of this accomplishment, and they are using their experience to help others.
We've been able to help a lot of other trail communities with the design of their trails. It's very important, I think, that one gives back to the community.
Back on the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, it's obvious there's a lot of interest in using this growing network for alternative transportation and recreation. Along this paved path, we pass under 495 into a wooded area. Through the safety railings, we see wetlands. We come to busy Route 110, then it's back onto the trail through Chelmsford. Admiring the buildings that are keeping the past in perfect shape, we cross a street to a wooden sculpture. At the kiosk, there is a bench surrounded by artwork, the linear monochromatic depictions of days gone by. Let's meet Emily Teller, Westford resident, secretary and board member of the Friends of the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail.
The Bruce Freeman Rail Trail is a proposed regional transportation recreational resource that will eventually be completed from the city of Lowell through Chelmsford, Westford, Carlisle, Acton, Concord, Sudbury, and Framingham, and it will be 26 miles.
Today's Bay Circuit Trail hike follows the 6.8 miles of the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail that are completed.
I think the rail trail, especially for people in Lowell, for example, allows them to come out and experience the peacefulness and the renewal that we all feel when we're in nature.
The Bay Circuit Trail, the Topsfield Rail Trail, and the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail. All trails seem to come to the same conclusion.
The rail trail has been a manifestation of being connected in this age. And I think being connected is really important, and it's harder and harder to do in some ways. And I think it's easy, not only as the project expands into other towns, but to value it here in Westford, and also just to see how much it's used and enjoy that availability for other people.
As we hike along the Bay Circuit Trail, which here is also the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, we pass many people out enjoying this resource. The trail is tree-lined, and there are woodlots and conservation lands along the way. At Hart Pond Beach, there is a lifeguard on duty, and swimmers cool off on this warm day in early summer. It's a safe area, no traffic, no cars. A peaceful place. A place that requires a lot of effort on the behalf of many people to make this a reality. So the logical thought that leads to this side trip, the quest to answer this question, who is Bruce Freeman?
My husband Bruce was thinking of a convenient way for people to walk or ride their bicycles on a pathway instead of in the street.
Daphne Freeman goes through photographs of State Representative Bruce N. Freeman, a man who championed the cause of open space. His idea? To create a bike path through the town of Chelmsford and beyond.
In 1985, he started getting paperwork together, and he worked on the feasibility of getting a bike path for Chelmsford and the surrounding area.
And as the work progressed, Bruce knew that this was an idea that he would never see completed.
He thought this would be such a good idea. So he worked on it, and then, of course, in the end of 1985, he wasn't well, and he knew he had terminal cancer by the beginning of 1986. Just before he died in 1986, the paperwork was all done.
The Massachusetts House of Representatives voted unanimously in favor of Bruce's idea and decided to name the trail after him. In picking up the torch, Daphne was in for the long haul.
Little by little, they were getting the funds for it and so forth. And it took many, many years, and we held our breath many, many times. And we thought this one, well, I never gave up on it. I really thought it would eventually happen.
Hiking along this family-friendly trail, it's good to remember the dedication and perseverance it takes to build something like this. As I near the end of Day 8 at Route 225, I think about how far we have to go. And remember, we're only here because of how far we have come. Hey, don't it feel good to take a walk in your neighborhood? I'm gonna get outside, gonna find my stride, feel the wind in my face. I'm gonna look all over the place. I'm gonna find some nature before it's too late. Gonna meditate for my soul's sake. Yeah, don't it feel good now? Don't it feel right? I'm hitting the trail, the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail.